Roland, I got to say this. Black continues to rescue America. Number one, I think it's very powerful that the sergeant at arms who escorted in our first black woman vice president, Kamala Harris, was the one who literally saved the lives of a lot of the hypocrites who had the nerve to be sitting on that stage today. So we saw metaphorically the hypocrisy of American democracy mixed with black people who continue to rescue a democracy that for so long has been that has been, to use the language of our frat brother Martin Luther King Jr., not true to what it said on paper. So to see brother Goodman escort her in, now he is the sergeant at arms, because if he did not have the presence of mind that he had last week, there's no telling what, 2 weeks ago, there's no telling what would have happened on January 6th, that day that will go down in infamy. And then the first young poet laureate of the United States made Maya Angelou proud. Miss Gorman just killed it. That was a powerful poem, and I think it represents the fact that black continues not to crack when it comes to American democracy, and yet from the cracks, we can help America see what it ain't and what it should be. President Biden gave a great speech calling for unity. President Biden is the first president I know, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the historian, Roland, to actually name white supremacy as problematic in this country. And the fact that he named it lets me know that we can begin to heal from what we are real about and honestly and actually deal with. So it's been a great day, but I got to go back to the handcuffs that you don't want him 45 to come back in. That messed me up. I can't take it.
Well, because again, he slinked off. He's so childish. Didn't want to come to the inauguration.
Right.
Didn't even want to say the man's name. Never communicated. The White House did confirm that Trump left a letter for Joe Biden. It's unconfirmed that it was written in crayon.
You on a roll, man. You on a roll.
Look, I have no problem being petty, but he probably wrote the letter in a big ass Sharpie. That's probably what he did as well.
Oh God. Yeah, well, it's fitting. And again, I'd love to know the contents of that letter. I'd love to know the contents, because again, he's too small to do something noble and big. And not only that, if he even wrote something halfway decent, it's bathed in hypocrisy in light of the fact that he was the one who stoked and instigated a seditionist movement of traitorous terrorists 2 weeks ago. So as far as I'm concerned, I can't be impressed by nothing he does because he's a big, baby, undisciplined hypocrite who never should have been president.
The thing here, again, it really showed itself yesterday at the service by the reflecting pool for the 400,000 who lost their lives due to COVID-19. You saw what a president looks like. Humanity, decency, empathy, compassion. And it really hit me yesterday watching that. I'm like, thank God that is returning to the Oval Office.
Yeah, we actually have a president who is presidential, but not just presidential, he's decent, he's honorable. I mean, the antithesis of the mess we've had to endure during our 4-year nightmare. And so we've been waiting, Roland, as a nation for someone to lead us through the grief of losing all of these lives senselessly. And of course, President Small, President Traitor didn't have the decency to honor the grief that the nation has been experiencing. And so I think the first move of President Biden to acknowledge the grief, the pain of this nation, again, it reflects the fact that we actually have a president who is presidential, but we also have a president who is decent, honorable, and actually cares about people. And then, Roland, you have to give him credit, because here's a man who is known great tragedy. And so what better person to provide the kind of empathetic leadership as we navigate this season of mourning and move toward healing?
It is I mean, look, there certainly is a lot of work. This is the video we're showing that was from last night. And there were so many people who were moved by that, who said, finally, we have a president who acknowledged and who willingly acknowledged the massive loss of life. Not just 400,000 over the course of a year, 100,000 since December. He did this while Trump was still whining about how he won the election that he lost.
Right. So 100,000 lives lost while he's playing games trying to stoke his MAGA mob into acting as if, the election was not legit. And so, given that, it's almost as if the hoax that he continued to talk about from February up through much of the last year of his presidency, as people were dying and dying from a hoax that he also contracted, by the way. And so here's someone who did not have the decency, the honor, the honesty to say, you know what, people are hurting and I need to acknowledge the pain, lead them through healing for their pain. But instead, in his own selfish babiness, maybe he's still trying to get daddy to approve of him. He's upset that he lost the election. And so instead of addressing the pain, he magnified the pain. And here comes someone today, and I love it, Roland. The fool wasn't even mentioned today. President Clown was not mentioned today, and yet in a real sense, he was indicted today. And the indictment started last night when President Biden said, I know we're hurting. It's time to heal.
Absolutely. And I know that just kills the narcissist that his name didn't even come up. That even and your vice president wouldn't even come to your own little send-off, knowing full well he could have made it back in time in the motorcade, because it ain't like he got to stop at red lights. And even he did not want to be seen. That to me was a fitting tribute, how no one wanted to be seen, no one credible wanted to be seen with Donald Trump except a few of his minions and his thuggish kids.
No question. And again, it just reflects the fact that, here's someone, and I ain't going to preach, but the Bible talks about how arrogance and a haughty spirit, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. And his presidency is ending in the ashes of shame, the ashes of being twice impeached, and he should get convicted, the ashes of being someone that American history will always recall as perhaps the most corrupt, the worst president in the history of this country, under whose watch 400,000 people died. Many did not have to die. And sadly, the death count will continue. And that will be the ignominious momentum that came from his mismanagement of this crisis. And then again, as you so well said, bro, the last month, he's spending the whole time pouting and stoking the flames of his MAGA mob trying to overturn a democratic election. And so the sad reality is that his presidency went down in flames. 4 years ago, Roland, I think you said it well. We told America what was going to happen. America didn't believe us. And here we see what has happened in this last month. And here he is in Florida, in shame. A haughty spirit has gone before a fall and destruction.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.